Hey, how you doing?
Oh, this is Sonic the Hedgehog from Sega Genesis. Hey, look at these radical colors. Hajime, begin!
Off our planet!
Because we're the Power Rangers! And we're not backing down!
Take that!
Just a little snack, guys.
Hey, call me Mr. Pig! Ah!
Howdy, hello. Yes, I'm sweating to death inside of an X-Wing helmet. We're talking Star Wars today. We're talking 90s Star Wars. I got some unopened from my youth Star Wars toys with me. I also have some from the park Star Wars stuff from the 90s with me. And we even have a list to go through of the 20 rare and expensive Star Wars toys from the 90s. So I'm kind of like, I like this day. We might have some people rolling in and popping in later on. May happen. We don't know yet. I've reached out to some more official Star Wars people than me, more official. So, and I see Nagdanol is coming in hot and early saying, you know, too bad every decade couldn't be as good as the 90s. The 80s were okay too. I have nothing against the 80s, but the 90s were better. It's just because
you're not biased at all, are you, Tom?
I'm an East Coast supremacist and I'm a 90s kid. So yeah, I'm surprised. And I mean, episode 1 didn't come out till 199. Oh God. The 199 has made its way here. I will have a 199 emoji at some point in the future. Now I don't think hail to both of us. We have 6 people watching right now. I know it's a crowded news day. We have No Green Rocks, the leader, the founder, the creator of the Legion of Memers. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Today was an awesome day. I'm feeling energized, and I'm glad to be here hanging out with you, mate.
So what we're going to do, this is a little weird because like all of this stuff is so far back. I did find some sources. I found some 90s Star Wars commercials. Now, I don't know what the whole copyright thing is. So we might watch some of them muted just to be on the safe side. I could try to EFAP them, but basically you get the 90s gist. I mean,
we all know the script for it. We can always talk over them.
Yeah. And we also have the trailer for Dark Forces, which is on the thumbnail because that was the first Star Wars game I remember playing. Came out in 96. I thought it looked amazing at the time. We all did. But so I first want to actually go through this rare toy list because I actually have some of them, just not the way they're presented. I'll explain that.
Do you still have them in the containers and everything?
Yes, I do.
Man, you must have been one patient child. I couldn't wait to rip those boxes open.
No, my dad bought me 2 of everything.
Wow, you got a good pops.
one to keep and one to play with. That's how the family rolled. My dad wasn't.
Smart. He has a very smart dad. You got there.
So we're gonna look through them. I actually have like some of these toys with me. Not all of them because some of them are still in storage, but actually some of the ones that are in this first image, which is a list of micro machines. So this is probably the holy grail of micro machines for Star Wars in terms of rarity and cost. And it is the master collection of the micro machines, $60 to $100 from 1994. Now I have part of this, as in I have with me the Return of the Jedi bundle, which you can see the speeder bike in there, and you can see some of that. It's not everything, but that's part in the Return of the Jedi bundle. Unopened, a little bit of a crease. You can see all of the micro machines in the back there. Last time I was at a MegaCon, they were selling these for around $30, unopened, about the same condition.
$30 or
yeah.
Okay.
And I think my dad bought it for $5. So, and then I do have the Empire Strikes Back one, which of course has Slave One. You can see Slave One in there. Oh, hello. We have a special Star Wars guest who's probably more in the 90s than I ever was. Drunk 3PO in here.
What is that supposed to mean?
I was barely around in the 90s. I was like 3.
That doesn't mean anything.
But
what if I didn't start collecting till last year?
Then
how dare you insult me like that? What's wrong with you?
It's okay. I have nothing. So,
well, we're just
Dude comes in and basically says Jay's here. He's freaking old. and he's the one with the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars helmet on. So I don't want to hear.
I don't have the Hasbro one from that time period. My head was too big. The kids one didn't fit.
That's all right. You still got it from Galaxy's Edge. What a shame.
I'm sorry. Well, this is
you can't get anything past 3.
Yeah, no. This is the Empire Strikes Back set. Now, these are the 2 parts of the whole set. Has A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, Empire Strike Back, which does list for. I've double checked these prices. It's about 60 to 100. Most of them end up selling around more like 75 in the condition, depending. If you got a good auction going on eBay, you may be able to get close to 100. I was a fan of the micro machines. I think it was a cool thing. I don't know what happened. I missed something.
Zombie boxes, Raz and Jay.
Oh, come on, Zombie box.
Who's the old geezer at the bottom?
Oh, and I thank you.
I still look better than you.
Oh,
I do have to say thanks to Joe for the $5. Hail,
what's up, Joe?
Good dude. Always love seeing him in the chat. And Westy's throwing in some of the emojis for the members. Thank you. Jay, since you brought it up, when did you actually did you have a Star Wars toy collection? Did you what was your 90s Star Wars experience more so?
90s, I have to say, was it like the wasn't that when the FX lightsaber came out?
The Force FX started coming out. We had Dark Forces came out. We had a bunch of, I thought the 90s was actually a really good period for like EU lore, the books, and for a lot of Star Wars to expand.
I was getting those FX lightsabers that were out.
Those were what, like $200 even back then, I think.
I don't know, man. Like where I was working, I got like a discount. So
the only time I saw them was at Disney, and they were expensive in there.
Nah, they weren't at Disney. They sold them at like places like Sam Goody back in the day, and places like that. So where they sell you could go and buy like CDs. Wow, nice.
Wrong one. I went to pick.
You could go and buy like CDs and cassettes or DVDs.
Was it like Goodies Got It or something like that? I think it might have been a different name in the North.
Yeah, and then like they had Star Wars stuff in there. So they had the FX lightsaber, which like when that first came on the scene, that was a big deal because that was like the first lightsaber that actually lit up, and that was pretty cool.
I think it started with Luke's, right? Was Luke's the first one from Jedi, or was it
having that green?
I think it was Darth Vader.
That makes sense. Everyone loves Vader.
But yeah, it was all original. It was all original trilogy stuff because the prequels didn't come out till '99.
Yeah,
So
I honestly love the prequel toy line was really good. Like the droid speeder, the vertical one with the little rocket launcher, and the Naboo fighter. Like they did a good job with the toys.
Oh yeah,
Which
they
I
had these little these little things that you can put inside a reader, and they would say like different phrases from the characters. I don't know if you guys remember that. They
yeah
were like little chips that you could put inside a reader, and they would say things for you.
yeah Obi-Wan would say hello there. I think it
Yeah.
was that was like when they were trying to be really experimental at the time with toys because I know that. But I'm curious because there are ones on here I've not seen, so I'm curious if you guys have seen them or if the chat has. I
oh,
I do not remember.
I have that in my I have
You
that
have
back
that
here.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's about $300.
Yeah.
Stop. You know what the problem is with these? I'm kicking myself now for actually playing with them as toys when I was a kid.
Sam Goodies, I haven't heard that name in a couple decades. I don't think the store exists anymore.
No, it's done.
It's like Circus City, gone the way of the dodo. Well, or the way of the Star Cruiser. Um, but I missed out on Boba Fett as a kid. I didn't like him at that age. I just wanted to play around with Luke and Han.
Boba Fett, even though he had a few lines, he was the coolest cat.
Yeah, I was a huge Boba Fett guy, so I grabbed everything. Won't be long
Jesus,
before
zombie
Jay
bots.
has to trade in. Wow, thanks for taking care of your guest, Rogue. I'll make sure to spread the word around that if you become a guest on this channel, he lets the chat roast and
I don't know what zombie bots are
totally.
doing.
I'll let everybody know. Don't worry. I got you, man. I got you.
I'm sorry. I can put him in a timeout if you want.
No.
Jay's been in G&G chat. He suffers far worse.
I suffer. Yeah.
This one I did have, which was the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, is that the one with the piece where you could like remove it and stick the toy in the hatch in the smuggler's hatch?
This is a different one. This is one that actually had like a motorized turrets and it was electronic.
Oh yeah,
destroyed the turrets really long. Well, right away because I didn't know it was electronic. I was 6, so that broke. So I have it still broken. I don't throw things away, but yeah, you did a scale version. It wasn't that fun to play with because the motor made so much noise. Like it was like it wasn't fun. But I got you didn't have that one.
No.
I think it was expensive at the time. It was like 50. So in the 90s, $50 for a toy was expensive. But oh yeah, you have your hand underneath. So yeah, the hand underneath. So you can.
Yeah, I wasn't an adult in the 90s, in case no matter what people might think. So it was like I didn't have any money to buy this stuff. So it was like you had to save up you had to save up for what you wanted. So like for me, I think it was FX Live. Some of this stuff was cool, but I didn't get this stuff till like later on. So
I remember seeing the 12-inch figures in the store, and I thought they were dolls. So I didn't want to get them because at that time it was all. What were you gonna say, Jay? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I agree with you. Nobody really wanted dolls.
Even though Akbar Akbar looks weird.
I always preferred like the plastic action figures over the dolls, to be honest with you.
I think everyone wishes I had the Falcon.
You know what's sad? I actually had the Millennium Falcon, and when I moved like across the world, like half the stuff got stolen. And that was one of the stuff that got stolen, unfortunately. Really sad.
So I think I remember the commercial for this one. I have the commercial, some of these commercials queued up. I think it's kind of interesting because if you watched Rebels, they kind of mimicked the toy ad for that one scene with Ahsoka, with him standing on top of his, or on top of a TIE fighter, so to speak. It was kind of something I didn't notice until I watched the commercial recently. I'm like, oh, okay, so they did that in Rebels.
I think Star Wars Legos were a thing.
Star Wars Legos were a thing everywhere, all the time.
That was my go-to. Jay's a good sport. Zombie Box Reviews is good people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all jokes, man. All loving games.
Have a safe drive home, theme park casual. I know how California traffic can be. Kinda.
You live in Florida.
All traffic's bad. So I think that's kind of interesting. The commercials, okay. I don't know. I wasn't the dark side person. I didn't have Vader stuff. Like I thought he was a bad guy. I was a kid. I don't know. It's $200 though. So
well, dude, if you get like Luke Skywalker, you have to get a bad guy for him to fight.
He fought he fought the bad guys from Power Rangers. I couldn't afford to have all the Star Wars toys and Power Ranger toys, so they kind of just fought each other.
I had Star Wars versus G.I. Joe.
It's what you get.
So yeah, I know that feeling.
I mean, he would fight was it Lord Zed all the time. So that's close enough. Close enough.
Lord Zed.
I think I had the rank core.
What a
and
terrible
he'd fight
childhood.
that thing.
What's wrong with Lord Zed? You don't like Power Rangers?
No, I do, but he doesn't need to fight Luke.
It's not a fair competition.
Luke would crush him.
Ivan said he was sup guys. I was introduced to Star Wars toys with Phantom Menace Kenner action figures. I was hooked. And good figures. I better than what Hasbro's been making. I'll tell you that.
They've merchandised that the prequels like crazy, man. They were some really good toys.
They made the Gungans look cool. I'll give them that. I had like 4 Jar Jar figures. I feel ashamed admitting that, but I did have a bunch of Jar Jar.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't admit that.
And this one is the one I could never find when it came out. Like I could not find this. Did any of you end up getting Dash Rendar's ship?
No, I don't think I've even seen it.
No, it was cool, but I don't think I saw it either, but I knew it was out there.
I'm just kind of curious, since it seems like it's a rare one that I never saw. I don't remember ever seeing it because I read and some of the EU stuff about him, and I played the games. I was looking for, and it's never found it, and it doesn't look right from the way they described it either. Like I didn't think it looked appropriate. Like they made it weird. But yeah, I think it should be higher price. But besides that, I think we need to go and look in the commercials more so, because this is just making me feel sad that I missed out on stuff.
Well, 90s commercials, man. Some of the best commercials in history.
Dawn says, I wish I had the toys. Which one? All of them or some of them?
Dawn, I totally feel you. I was too poor to get all these toys, so I totally get you.
Thousand Ghost Toys said he was working at the KB Toys when the Phantom Menace toys came out. They had a midnight release. Nice. Wow, I miss those. Didn't they? They did a midnight release for Tears of the Kingdom and some of the GameStops, I think. That was kind of cool. But see, I'm not the only one that don't remember seeing it, so that must seem odd that it's so cheap. And R2, hi, how are you doing? I hope your dog's doing well. Nikki's a Jar Jar fan? Sadly. I did not know that. She is? Oh. Yeah. Then I have to keep those safe. So we have a list here of, well, not a list, but we have basically a compilation of the Star Wars commercials from the 90s and a little bit of the 80s. So we're going to watch some of these. We'll try to like EFAB it a little bit. I don't know exactly who would copy claim this right now, but why not? We'll see how it goes. Here it is. This is like old school.
Yo, these commercials were hype.
14 minutes. Holy crap.
This is all of them.
Oh, okay.
This is like a compilation of all of them. It took me like a week to find it. Can you stop the Empire? Star Wars Power of the... All right, first of all, I love that the only ones that you see are Luke, C-3PO, R2, a Stormtrooper, and Vader.
That's the main? No Han, no Leia, but...
Or Chewie. Like, I'm sorry, but...
Yeah.
Chewie's
The
Chewie's not
droids
a
were
big.
like big, man. Like the
Oh,
C3PO and R2D2 were like on everything.
wait, she is unsubbing from her channel.
He's joking
I don't get that.
because
Okay.
she's a fan of Jar Jar.
But she is unsubbing. I'm confused now.
Bro, just
Zombie
carry
box.
on.
I will.
Force collection, okay. Now, the universe has changed forever. The Star Wars Power of the Force collection. When Darth Vader and his stormtroopers attack.
Yo, I gotta give it to them. The FX for this is really good for the time.
Escaping the mighty Millennium Falcon.
Man,
Experience the real movie
there it
star
is.
flight
There's the
scene.
Millennium Falcon.
Darth Vader's TIE fighters are on your tail. Hear the force of the Falcon's turbo laser.
I will admit,
They're not built to scale from the movies, that's for
No.
sure.
but I will admit, I love the fact that they thought about the fact that you'd want to fly them around. So both the TIE fighters and the X-wings, everything came with something so you can hold it underneath to more easily make it look like the movie, make it look like you're flying around in space. Like as a kid, it was so much easier to pretend like if your hand wasn't holding over the entire Millennium Falcon, if you're just like flying underneath. And if I don't know, I did a few like stop motion like picture things as a kid with those. Like it was fun. At that time, making your own little fan film stuff and enjoying that, it was a fun. I guess I was more like 10 or 12 when I started doing that, but those were fun things to do.
Can you blast Vader's TIE fighters to pieces? Never underestimate the power of the Force. The Star Wars Power of the Force collection.
I like the announcement. Star Wars Power of the Force collection. Fly the Millennium Falcon.
Exclusive Kenner action figure. Han Solo disguised.
I actually have that one, or I had that one.
Wait. Go back just a hair. Was that like Indiana Jones music?
I think so.
Hold on. Let's listen.
Yeah, I'm thinking it is.
Dan, it's an exclusive Kenner action figure. Han Solo disguised as a stormtrooper. Free with 2 proofs from.
That sounds like dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it sounds like the fanfare for Raiders.
That's funny.
Also, look at what you used to get from a cereal box.
Yeah, Fruit Loops.
Like you actually got real toys instead of like a sticker.
Fruit Loop cereal. May the Force be with you.
The Star Wars Power of the Force collection. The biggest ships for the biggest battles. Now, in the sleek action
Oh,
fighters,
yeah,
Rebel
dude,
Hero
I
Luke
remember that
Skywalker,
one.
You experience the real movie sounds of spaceflight. Your mission.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
And
How the freak did he pull his lightsaber out like that?
Look how big it is.
we're gonna EFAP a Star Wars commercial. I love it. Let's go back to see how this lightsaber popped out. Is it like? I don't think it extends, does it? I don't think it extends.
That's a really big one.
Hold on, watch this.
Your mission free Han Solo from the clutches
Oh,
of
okay,
Darth
it doesn't. All right, he
Vader.
just put it down.
Now
Okay,
you have
okay.
Imperial scout troopers on their
I had like 5 speeder bike things. Those were my favorite. With like I had Luke, Leia. I had the Scout Troopers, which I thought were the best helmet designs for any of the
Speeder bikes.
stormtroopers.
and massive scout walkers to deal with. Are the X-Wings laser cannons enough to free Han Solo? Now you have the power.
That's not movie accurate though. I'm just saying.
Nah.
Man, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. If you can't, we're watching earlier. My dad bought me like 2 or 3 of everything just because I would break stuff, and he had one to keep for concept of it because he was a baseball card collector, so he collected everything. So he thought something would be worth value.
He's not wrong. He wasn't wrong.
No, no,
The
he
Star
wasn't.
Wars Power of the Force collection. Figures and
But
Legos
like,
and
think
soldiers.
about it, how different it was back then compared to now with the toys. Like,
Nobody does Star Wars like the power of the Force from Kenner. The biggest, most realistic force in the universe. Only the power of the Force brings
Oh,
you the biggest
yeah, I
heroes and
remember that.
villains straight from the movies. And the largest fleet of full-scale vehicles ever.
You remember that
Recreates the
hairstyle?
real movie detail of the Rebel Scout.
that was like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah,
mushroom
man.
cut.
Everybody had that.
Jay, did you have a mushroom cut?
Nah, nope.
No mushroom cut.
My hair is too thick.
I
Kind of froed out a little bit.
I shaved my head. I was too big of a kid. I sweated a lot. My school didn't have air conditioning, and yeah. So I was always a buzz cut. that was the simple way. So no mushroom cut for me. Plus, it would look weird on a
the
round
blazing
head.
light to the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, and the big movie sounds of the X-Wing. When it comes to big size, big detail, and big movie sounds, now you're playing with the power. Star Wars, Power of the Force. Figures and vehicles each sold separately.
So there was a difference between the Force Effects ones and the, because they had the Force Effects ones and then they also had the retractable one at the same time. I think the retractable one was like only around $30 or $40. That was the one I had. I had the Return of the Jedi Luke retractable blade. Did they even have commercials for the action figures for the sequel movies? I don't remember seeing any. I don't
remember seeing any either.
No.
Yeah.
Not this good. Like, if they were smart, they'd try and take some of the style of these old commercials and then, remake them nowadays. But
that's what they're doing with the Hasbro lines with all the 50th stuff for Lucasfilm. They're just re-releasing prior toys, like the vintage line. The way they said "Power of the Force." And imagine if Ian McDermott actually did the Power of the Force line. Yeah, cool. But yeah, this is just like, I don't know. It's a different vibe back then.
Now, fight for the galaxy with the incredible weapons
there
of
it
the
is.
Jedi Knights, the Luke Skywalker lightsaber and the new Darth Vader lightsaber, both with blazing extendable light blades and 3 real movie sounds.
That's not the FX one.
No, it was the cheaper one.
Yeah.
But they did have Mark Hamill doing the voiceover for it.
I mean, that was the one, if you hit somebody, it would bend.
Oh, yeah. Those would break really quick. There's nothing holding. Yeah. It's basically like it's the cheapest one. Well, not the cheapest one. There had no names at the time, but.
Batteries not included. Prepare yourself for Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire. The cruel crime Lord Shizor directs the carbonite capture of Han Solo and his imprisonment aboard bounty hunter Boba Fett's battle-ready Slave One.
Oh, they said Slave One.
All right, so like these were the ones that I didn't actually I didn't go towards as a kid because I didn't know what it was until I read the books. So I was like 15 by the time I started trying to figure out where these toys were, because it was before, I was 6. I don't think Shadow
Undercover with Soldier of Fortune Dash.
There's Dash, and there's a ship. Okay.
Battle transforming Outrider. But can they stop Slave One in time? It's the ultimate ships for the ultimate battle.
I also notice now that we've gone past the 90s guy and we're into Mark Hamill time of announcing. So I don't know what happened, but I guess he got the contract. First couple were, I like the 90s guy, not Mark Hamill. Well, I like Mark Hamill, but old Mark Hamill. What is that you?
Yeah, that's my alarm.
Okay. Shadow of the Empire had great promotional run for the novel, which was the game, the toys, the comics. Why you trigger 1,000 ghost toys? I'm sorry if you are. You still have your 2002 Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. That's awesome. Zombie Box reviews. Is it the Force Effects one?
Dare to enter the shadows. Star Wars: Shadows of the Empire. Figures and vehicles each sold separately from Kenner. Nobody does Star.
Oh, you're repeating now. All right. I think this is the thing you were talking about with the sound
Power
clip.
of the Force, with all new Power FX figures with electronic movie lights and sounds. Blaze across Tatooine with Power FX R2D2.
Oh no, the ones that I was talking about was when Phantom Menace came out and they had the midichlorian reader.
Power FX Darth Vader and Power FX Luke Skywalker. Join them as their lightsabers glow, their destiny in your hands, in this ultimate.
That's like the little football game you play.
That doesn't seem fun to me. I didn't have that, but that just pulling it back and forth doesn't really. I'd rather just use my hands to make the characters move.
Well, okay, so at this point in time, they've had, I don't even know when this was, probably 8 years past when Return of the Jedi came out, and they're still just making the stuff off the same 3. Weasel, oof. Imagine saying I like Mark Hamill in 2023. Well, at the time, I like him in Star Wars when he was in Star Wars at that time period. I don't like. I have to use personifiers for everything. I'm gonna say these were fun commercials. They worked for me as a kid. I didn't have all of that. I did not have any of that. The only things I could find were the Micro Machines and honestly one Darth Vader statue from Star Tours, and that says 1993 on it. That was the most I could find right now. Rock'em Sodom Jedis. Yeah, that's what it is. Did you have any of this? Or you were just a lightsaber at that point in time? None of the.
I can't remember.
It's kind of too far. Not didn't mean to say that. Didn't mean to say too far back, but it's sort of like they all blurred together at some point because these are like constant re-releases of same figures going over again.
Yeah, I don't remember what I. Jay is sleeping? No. No.
Well, I was gonna say this. What was your first? Since we're kind of just talking about generally Star Wars in the '90s, what was your like favorite Star Wars in the '90s like memory in that time frame?
Boba Fett, Slave One stuff. I tried to get that. I tried to get Luke Skywalker stuff and Boba Fett stuff. That was like my two go-to. Anytime I saw something with Boba Fett on a T-shirt or a poster, I would always get that. So comic book stuff. 90s was such a weird time because there was no Star Wars except for EU.
Yeah.
And so it was like they're like trying to repackage whatever, you know? And they only had the original trilogy to kind of throw toys out at the time. So it's like, you know, it's like, hey, we got more Vader stuff. Hey, the Power of the Force line. Hey, this thing does sound effects. This one's a little bit better. So it's like you already had like some of the Kenner stuff, and then it was like, we got something that's a little better. We got Hasbro stuff. We got this. We got that. So it's you know, I don't know how well they sold stuff. The micro machines. I never got into the micro machines too much. So, but because 90s like Transformer toys, I mean Star Wars toys being replaced by G.I. Joe and Transformer toys, I think around that time.
And Turtles and Power Rangers. You had a lot of
wins. like that was like, and so Star Wars didn't have really a show or movies coming out or anything, but it did. The fact that they were still selling stuff shows you how popular and powerful Star Wars was, even though it was in the 90s, you know? And then, like, once we got mid-90s, I think they started announcing the sequels. So that was like a whole new, you know, like, what is this going to be?
And the prequels...
I mean, prequels, excuse me.
But the prequels and even towards the late 90s, they did have a great run on games, though, too, because you had Jedi Outcast, you had Jedi Outcast 2, you had... with TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, like you had a bunch of like older audience stuff going on at that time. What's up, Daryl? Nice seeing you in here. You found Zizer? Am I saying that right? Zach Zizer?
Lixor?
Xixor? Zizer, I guess? I don't know. You scooped him up. That's cool. I have no clue who that is. Is that a Star Wars character from like the EU? I don't know who Zizor is. Chat, if you know, otherwise I'm gonna have to look it up. Because I don't know.
Hey,
but
he's in Legends. He's
a legend.
He is the fallen male prince turned crime lord from Black Suns.
Okay.
He's the guy that the
purple guy
from Shadows of the Empire.
Okay, purple guy in Shadow of the Empire. Okay.
I had to double check. I knew that, but I had to double check.
And Dark Racing stream just reminded me of some of the prequel toys I used to have. Hey, man, the prequel toys, I think, like, prequel toys were great. Don't, like, even if you weren't that big of a fan back then, the toys were really good. And so were the games, like Rogue Squadron from that time frame on the N64 and stuff like that. Those were really good games. I know that's not the right time frame, but we're going to take a look at the Dark Forces trailer because this was, like I said, this was the first Star Wars game I played, or I remember playing back then. And it is...
Oh, wow. I remember this. Wow, those are some good times, man.
No, like obviously Duke Nukem or Doom clone pretty much. But at the time, like I just like, hey, I have a blaster and I'm shooting imps. I don't know. Did you play this, Jay? Like, did you play on the PS1?
I played that game like 100 times from start to finish. That's one of my all-time favorite Star Wars games ever.
Would you? I know that someone did on the Force engine actually like a remastered 4K version of this.
Oh, I would play it.
So that is actually a thing that exists. I don't know if it's a mod, but someone actually did a Dark Forces.
I would play it. It was just like, it was just so cool playing that game, and like the Dark Trooper shows up and you think it's, Boba. Like it was really good. It was done well. You go into the sewer systems and it was done really well.
So this is I'm going to bring up a comparison. This is actually Dark Forces and the original side by side with the remake, which I don't know who did this and took the time to do this, but that's definitely a passion project of love, because that's a lot of work. Once it starts playing. There we go.
Awkward silence.
There we go. I didn't pause it.
Yeah, it's because it's loading.
Great.
I put it on 4K. I'm sorry.
Oh wow, that is really good.
Streamlabs can't push out 4K, so
then
there's no need to do 4K.
Then I messed up.
Yeah, you did.
I don't do this that often. I'm not good.
Sorry, I'm teaching you.
I'm gonna. I'll hide it while I get it down to 720p.
Jay's the Jedi Master, and Rogue is the Padawan here.
Oh man, I am sorry, I'm trying, respect Rogue's stream, but the Galactic Star Cruiser stuff is just
I know,
all over the place, and these freaking Disney people are mad at me. I'm being blamed for shutting the Star Cruiser down on this one guy's live stream.
Ultimate power.
And I'm debating if Saturday on my Saturday stream if I should play some of this stuff or just be like whatever.
I'm just happy that my box trick photo is starting to be retweeted now too. So
yeah, that was pretty epic.
Wait, what? No, Weasel, you have that way wrong. That's
Thomas
wrong.
J's Padawan.
Weasel, I think that's no.
Sure. Internet's
what's up?
a wild place.
Hey, Paige Ashley, what's up? So now this should be able to play because.
Subscribe to History of Pirates.
Okay. If any of the mods are in,
I was just joking.
Hey guys, this is Eckhart's Ladder. Hello and welcome.
Oh, that's not Eckhart's Ladder
on X2. And
I don't know who that is.
Again, I want to take a second.
I don't know who Eckhart's Ladder is. I'm sorry.
It's all right. He's a Disney show. Nah, he's okay.
I was just trying to look for a comparison.
It's okay.
Paige.
He hates park hopping, seriously.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm just kidding. He
Nice,
probably
Paige.
knows nothing of us.
Well, this is your.
I know who Eckhart's Ladder is, so.
I thought he was Gary's Padawans. I'm the one boomerang right now.
I'm just making it awkward.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a good one, Paige. Would you consider yourself an Obi-Wan there, Jay, or are you more of a Han Solo?
I'm more
Chewbacca.
Nah, he was a little smarter than me. I don't want to insult Chewbacca.
I was gonna say you'd be more of a Lando.
Maybe, yeah.
I could see you rocking a cape.
Because everyone's Lando's how did Lando get in this position? The old, even Han was how did you get in this position? That's how it is with me. It's how did you end up here? It's, I don't know. Just here.
I'm curious. Ideal casting, and this is a little bit outside of the 90s, for a Lando film, if Star Wars was good. Denzel, for an older Lando film, what would you think?
In the right hands, it would be awesome, but they don't like Lando, man. Lucasfilm hates Lando. They don't like Lando at all.
Well, they don't like any of them.
So it's if it was in the right hands, yeah, I'd love to. You know what I want? I want them to go away from Skywalker and give us a whole new, slow tour, Star Wars: The New Republic.
Well, do you think that This is going outside of the 90s a little bit, but do you think that
That's okay.
they're
That's what
trying to
happens with
do
live
yeah?
streams.
Do you think that at least somewhat they were trying to do that a little bit with the Fallen Order stuff? Go away from Luke, go away from that corner of things. They were, at least in the first
Well,
game.
Jedi Fallen Order is still in the Skywalker saga because
You mean the
was
timeline?
yeah. Because he was in the Order 66 and all that stuff happened in the game. So it's like that timeline needs to go, and I would like them to go like there's a clip from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic of those twins. I show it all the time.
That.
And I was like, that would be the best movie because it wasn't. It was just like this guy who found twin Force users and trained them. Wasn't training them to be a Jedi. Wasn't training them to be a Sith. Was just training them to take over worlds. So they went and killed Jedis, and then they went and killed Sith, and they were just trying to rule the galaxy that way. And then the twins ended up fighting each other, and the one that had a little more good in him died. So it was like it just would. I think that would make a pretty cool story because it looks at the Force a little differently. It looks at the Jedi and the Sith a little more differently, where they had to come together. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So it's like they had to come together and like destroy them. So I was like, that would be such a different, unique story than I'm a Sith. All right, Jedi's gonna kill you. All right, now there's peace. And it's like, okay.
I would like to say thank you, Zombie Box Reviews, for the 5 gifted memberships. Please throw some George in the chat. And so I think we're up to almost 50 members for the channel, a little bit more. So thank you, Zombie Box Reviews, for that. And I hope everyone gives a nice little thank you to him that got a gifted membership. I love it. I don't know why, but whenever they did the trailers for any of the Star Wars Old Republic, every single one was like, this could be a movie.
Top tier. Yeah, I agree.
Every single one was like, this alone could be a movie. You could make an entire movie of the story of the Padawan and her master and like the gunslinger, like everything. And it just, as you say, and you've said this always a lot, they keep making the universe smaller and smaller. They keep making everyone have to be connected to someone. No one knew who Lando was when you saw him in Empire Strikes Back. He was just someone you didn't know where was going. You didn't know. There was no history. And a couple lines of dialogues, you figure out what happens. There needs to be more characters like that where you don't.
There needs to be more mystery left as to what. I totally agree with you, Tom. As to what happened, because it's like, hey, that's my ship. And Han's like, no, I won him from you fair and scared. And we just left it. We didn't really know.
Yeah,
at least in the movies, we didn't really know. So, and then they kind of made Solo, and you're like,
I mean, even like the introduction of Yoda. Like the introduction of Yoda was such a masterful bit of purposeful misdirection.
Yeah, because we're all thinking Jedi warrior, big dude coming, smashing, and it's like, judge me by your size, by my size, It's like, oh, okay.
And back then they knew how to do like Yoda was definitely kid marketed. Like he's marketed for a kid. He's a puppet. Muppets were big back in that time frame in the 80s, 90s. Muppets were huge, and you have such a character that connected. And what happened to that? Like what? Maz Kanata is not Yoda.
What happened was a corporation now runs these IPs, not just Star Wars, and they just approve stuff that they see on paper. So it's like, hey, we spent $100 million, but we made $500 million, and the corporation's like, all right, cool, keep doing what you're doing. But eventually it'll catch up. That's why we have the closing of the Galactic Star Cruiser, because nobody cared to go or spend that kind of money to go. So
that's hubris on Disney, and everyone said that the whole pricing of it, the whole concept.
Tom, what do you think's going to happen to it?
So
I know this is way off, but it's like, we're all We're all part of the parks and stuff,
Yeah.
so it's like, what do you think is gonna happen to it?
So we have the concept I see is you have what happened with Art of Animation when it used to be the Legacy Resort when they were building it in 2008, and then it became Art of Animation. Disney and Disney World has no problem letting something sit for 10 years and then finally doing something with it. You know what I mean? Like they have no issue with that. Now, my viewpoint is that interior can be scrubbed and changed to be whatever. It does not have to connect to a park necessarily, be specific to one park if you're taking that bus or taking a transportation system. They could make that a rotational resort into different themed resorts and change it once a year if they wanted to. If they made the interior easy enough to switch over where you could possibly do Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean or Indiana Jones or whatever, and just do a yearly retheme, new cast each year, and keep the bedrooms relatively easy to theme over with soft goods, and then just...
I gotta tell you why you're wrong.
All right.
The amount of money that they put into those screens and the extra rooms that have the activities, I think they're gonna sell excursions.
You think they're gonna do the 4 out of 6 hour like escape room?
Maybe even that, but it could be like dinner reservations, and the box truck will pick you up. You show that you got a reservation at 7 to go eat. Be at the box truck pickup at 6:30. It'll take people there. They'll have dinner. They probably won't have a show, but maybe just a couple cast members dressed up. You know, you could walk around, do an excursion, shoot some TIE fighters, and go back to the park. I think they'll sell it that way. The rooms probably be sealed off a little bit. You got to remember, every room has one of those televisions.
Yeah.
That shows, and it's all computer integrated into an app.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of money there. The whole top part, I guess they could redo that, but the whole top part was built for Rey and Kylo to fight.
So here's the question, and this is the concept that I was saying: is we both thought for a while that they would do an excursion thing to augment the hotel stay, like a 4 to 6 hour hoop-de-doo review. But I thought they would still have 50% of the rooms available to try and at least do some of the room concept, because you could get rid of the acting cast overnight and change them out from being the equity actors into regular hotel staff, because that will be a cut in budget costs or salary there, because now everyone's in there as an equity actor, which is a higher pay rate. So I don't understand why they could do both. Like, it seems odd that they're just stopping it completely.
I just feel that they've invested way too much money into this. It's not like a standard resort because of all the little excursion things that you could do on there. They have a prison in there.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to cost a ton to gut it and retheme it. You also know that Disney, sorry, this is way off.
Yeah, no.
Disney's removing Willow and a bunch of other projects off Disney Plus for the sole purpose of not paying residuals to the actors and the writers
to get out of playing royalties and stuff. Like they
just announced that. That's why I was like, during some of the things it just popped up, and they're like Willow, which sucked by the way, but Willow is one that's going. They don't want to pay the extra money.
That seems residuals. Well, isn't that something Netflix does sometimes? Like if they get past 3 seasons, they stop a show because they don't want to have to pay out.
It's not about stopping the show. It's about completely removing it so no one can view it. Because
that's petty.
Cold. That's cold. So it's like, if you went on Disney Plus and clicked on Willow, because of the click, it's like a YouTube thing. The actors and everybody gets paid. So
I mean, it's on there right now, I think, last time I looked, because I watched
they just made an announcement that they're going to be removing like 15 shows off Disney Plus because they don't want to pay the residuals completely.
And Chapek was this cheapskate. I'm just saying, like,
they just don't have any money, man. Like, there's no money. So,
well, I mean, wait times were like 30 minutes today for Rise of the Resistance, and I think summer is going to be bad for them, no matter what. They're desperate. I don't know about California. Like, California's a different beast.
Bro, we predicted this after the pandemic. They had a surge in occupancy. People showed up because they've been
travel.
they were locked in. Some people in other states were locked in longer than others. And people, the exit polling from these travel agents were like, I'm not coming back here. And, they kept raising the rates and making it difficult for people to buy tickets and park reservation systems. And people are like,
I'm already expecting them to throw Genie Plus in with hotel stays soon for people to try and get them to book.
And now we're seeing people aren't showing up. And it's like, now they're like, here's a discounted ticket for the summer. That's crazy.
Well, okay.
And we said it. I said 3 years from 2020 is now 2023, and it's like I knew it was happening.
And Universal's poised. This is a little bit more theme park stuff, but Universal's poised for 2025 to just take over. But
the crazy thing is that people are upset that Disney's fighting with the governor, so they're choosing not to go to Disney.
This is a thing that didn't need to happen. None of that stuff needed to happen. Like, we all know that. And to go along with that, over the summer, I talked to a travel agent friend of mine, like sandals and all those all-inclusive, now that travel restrictions are lifted a lot of places, they're offering family of 4 flights for $2,000, all-inclusive with the flight, down to those for a week. I'm sorry, you cannot do a week in Disney at $2,000 with flight and food and theme park. Like, they're going to get destroyed by all of these all-inclusives and cruise line stuff now. Even though I have to say I've done a bunch of Disney cruises, and the Disney cruises are a very different animal from the theme parks, and they are actually good. I'm going to say that. Like, the Disney cruise is a different animal than the theme parks.
That's what everybody says.
They still have the idea of customer service and stuff like that. Maybe it's because they have basically hired non-Americans. I don't know. But I've done like 4 of them, and they've been wonderful. So I just want to give that caveat. But yeah. Dawn says,
the stupid thing is... Oh, go ahead.
No, I said, Dawn says, nope, I won't hang at Universal. Thank you very much. It took me a minute to figure out what that meant.
When it came to the Star Cruiser, they discounted everything but the Star Cruiser. It's like they were so prideful that they didn't want to give any discounts to the Star Cruiser, but they gave it everything around it. You got a discount, but they were still so prideful. They're like, we can't take an L on this and lower the price. Now you're shutting it down completely.
So even if I did my points to stay there, it would have been 526 points per day. So that would have been 8 years worth of my points for 1,000 points or whatever, or 5 years.
God. So they sent me an email. Disney did, not like personal. It was the theme, a generic theme. Yeah, and because of the Visa card that I have, I can stay at the Star Cruiser for $900
for the whole trip.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good way to make some content.
That is
$900 per person. So
that is actually probably close to the price it should have been.
Yeah, they're giving for the Chase Visa that you have.
So
it's like,
so you think that's why they
off.
put the pause on booking, because they're trying to get as much going into it to have at least the last day full.
The last day is going to be filled with influencers.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Like the last day for Splash Mountain, every YouTuber, TikToker want to be the last person on that boat.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Everyone's going to try to get the very last day because they know they'll get 1 million views and that'll pay for itself plus more.
Well, I mean, all the other Star Cruiser stuff doesn't actually get 1 million views, though. Like, I've seen travel agents still post videos from it and stuff like that, and they're not, because people want to watch things that they plan to do for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, would I like to go if it was at a reasonable price? Yeah, I think it would have been fun. But I also think it would have been people would have been more accepting if they said, "Oh, we're gonna have 3 months of sequel. We're gonna have 3 months of prequel. We're gonna have 3 months of original trilogy. We're gonna have 3 months of Mando, and we'll just rotate out the characters and the theme and not have to be worried about any of that." That should have been the next move. Be like, hey, we're gonna bring original trilogy characters in, and we're gonna do the Star Cruiser in the original trilogy timeline, and you have to help save Luke and Leia. Oh, we're gonna have Mando. Oh, we're gonna have prequels. Oh, we're gonna have blah blah blah. Like, I don't understand. They do the Star Wars characters over in Disneyland all the time for the Star Wars nights, and for the DVC Moonlight Magic stuff. They have Boba Fett walking around, C-3PO. They only have the original characters. So, I agree with that. They are the ones saving, but they also pay cheaper on a lot of the tickets, Dawn. Like, the UK has a deal. Like, you get 14 days for a ridiculously cheaper price, I think. But
it's wild, man.
I mean, that's just it. It's 90s was a good time for Star Wars. Right now, we're in a huge Star Wars recession. But I also say don't lose hope. And still, if you like original trilogy and prequel stuff, like it. Don't let them take any of your concept of Star Wars away. Or like, I'm not a black pill person. I've always said that. I'm never someone saying, oh, I'm never going to watch something again, blah, blah, blah. Like, watch the stuff you like, obviously. Like, and show support that way. And a lot of the original trilogy stuff, you don't have to buy from them. Like, go get the despecialized editions if you want, or whatever it is. I just downloaded Battlefront 2 because I saw y'all playing that last night on the main channel. Like,
I'm so excited to play with y'all.
It's Star Wars. It's Disney. Disney is not Star Wars. Star Wars is for the fans. I do agree. I want to make sure that it doesn't ruin George Lucas's legacy, because I think he did make a wonderful property, and two, actually, with Indiana Jones too. Like, I don't want the idea of that being destroyed because of a company, and that's what I worry about. Because I still like going to see the stunt show. The Indiana Jones stunt show was still fun to watch. I like watching Raiders.
It got soft though.
You don't get to do the guest thing, and they have a whole diversity, blah 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 comment stuff. I get that, and they got rid of the guns. But I mean, I like the fact that the Young Indiana Jones Chronicle is going on to Disney Plus. I like that show. It was what I had for Indiana Jones for a while, because there was no more Indiana Jones. Made me wish that George Lucas did Star Wars at that point in time in the same way. But do we think Question: do you think Star Wars has a chance of being saved in like the next 5 to 10 years?
No, I think the Star Wars that we love will never return.
I don't know.
I don't mean
honestly,
to be a Debbie Downer, but that's just.
I certainly have hope, but I feel as Jay does from what we've been seeing and how things are going. I highly doubt it.
I think if they get to do the Rey movie, if that bombs, that could be a wake-up call. But the activists are running the show, and there is so much damage now that I mean, listen, the Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny early reviews are out, and right now it's rotten. It's at 43%. That movie cost more than Avatar to make. It's a Rotten Tomatoes at 43.
I know, but I don't understand how they can. I don't understand how any company can accept that much loss.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, yeah. I agree with you, but it's like it just keeps happening. Mando season 3 was their flagship. Mandalorian was their flagship Star Wars show and listen, I like the first 2 seasons. It's on my channel. I talked about it. I thought Mando was exactly what it was. It was supposed to be a gunslinger Western show. It really changed course. Yeah, season 3 came out, and the reports are there. And this is not me talking. This is, from the reports. It says that over 300,000 subscribers of Disney Plus canceled their subscription during the middle of the Mandalorian season. Damn. Their biggest, this is America. This is their biggest drop ever. This is in the middle of the season. That just shows you that people are like, I don't care. And if you're at this place where people don't care, the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser is shutting down. That, It's people don't care about Star Wars like they think. These activists are just like they do care. Look, diversity or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like they just totally threw the story in the toilet. I could save the Star Cruiser.
Make it a
I
original
would.
trilogy.
I'd turn it into the Death Star.
Yeah, you.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Hey,
No probe droids though.
no, I'm just saying, like, you're on the Death Star, and it's like people would pay big bucks. I remember this thing, Tom. I remember before the Star Cruiser even opened, the Disney did a poll that they deleted, and stupid me never saved it. They did it on Twitter or somewhere. They're like, "Hey, what resort would you like for us to open?" They had Haunted Mansion, they had Star Wars, they had I think Toy Story and something else I don't remember. Haunted Mansion was at like 7,000 to 10,000 votes. Haunted Mansion was 98%. Star Wars was the lowest one, and they went with the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser. It's like, do you not even listen to your audience? It's like, what are they thinking? It's like people want to pay, people want to shovel money. If you built a mansion that looked like the Haunted Mansion and go there and stay there and all, it didn't have to be over spooky for kids, but it's like, that's what your audience wanted. But you went, we're going to give you this. Even though nobody voted for it. It was the least one voted was Star Wars. I remember like laughing at it and being like, look at this. I think I just showed it on a live stream, but I was shocked, man.
I'm curious about Vero Mike's rumor is Galactic Star Wars going to be a wedding pavilion. I mean, that's a possible use for it to have people rent out for a wedding. I don't know if you're gonna make enough money off of that, but the Disney weddings start out at 10 grand. So I don't know. I mean, that's an off-season possibility when they're not doing stuff. It wouldn't make sense. They still have a kitchen there. They still have all the thing to make the food. They have the show space. Like maybe Star Wars weddings. I don't know. But yeah, it's a no-brainer. Haunted Mansion has a loyal Disney following and is beloved by everybody that goes to a Disney theme park. You would have think Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean, especially at Pirates of the Caribbean at that point in time. It was still a large franchise, and it's still beloved. I don't think people have that much animosity towards Pirates of the Caribbean, even with the Johnny Depp stuff. It's just wasted potential and hubris. But I don't know. What do I know? I'm just someone who goes.
What do I know either? It's like these people make these decisions, but Disney parks as well as I do. There is no other IP that they have that they treated Star Wars so stupidly.
Is the one they have tarnished the most, because even the Avengers stuff on property in California, at least is to the brand enough. Like the Spider-Man animatronic and stuff like that is kind of cool to see.
When a new Marvel film comes out, they've got the characters out there walking around for photos. They got the they got whatever music they got playing, blasting. You go to Galaxy's Edge, just like you hear nothing. You hear TIE fighters flying like once every 5 or 10 minutes. You should be pumping in that Duel of Fates, man. You should have Darth Maul standing there, like with Obi-Wan taking photos with kids. You should have a robotic Baby Yoda for those people over there. You should have Rey and Kylo over there. You should have Luke and Vader over there. And it's like, it's simple. It's like
why aren't there Force Ghost magic shots? Like, why can't you have Force Ghost Alec Guinness Obi-Wan as a magic shot in your picture when you go in front of the Millennium Falcon?
When you go to Pandora,
I mean, they make holograms nowadays anyway. You could do a hologram of him, not a problem.
Listen, when you go to Pandora, you could pay money to become an avatar action figure. They take a readout of your face and put you in an action figure. They do that. They don't do that at Star Wars.
They used to.
Like I know, but they don't do that anymore, man.
Yeah,
it's
they used to do it when Lucasfilm owned it.
Figure. You can be a Jedi, you can be a bounty hunter, and you would be sealed up in an action figure. Like, how cool is that for people that collect stuff? Nah, they don't want to do that. They sell plushies of V. Do you know who V is? No Green Rocks. Do you know who that character is in Star Wars called V? She has purple hair. Exactly.
No idea.
Nobody knows who it is. You want to know why? It's a made-up Star Wars character that they put in Galaxy's Edge. It's supposed to be a rebel spy. And they're selling that
And
merch.
why should I care about them?
Exactly.
And they wonder why this stuff is being closed down. They wonder why no one gives a crap. They wonder why we laugh at this stuff. They have an entire section at Galaxy's Edge. You know what they sell? No green rocks. You want to know what they sell? Life Day merch. Life Day merch. An entire section. Blue orb, Chewbacca in the red robe. You got Rey celebrating with Chewbacca in the red robe. It's stupid.
And please don't buy that merch. And if you want to buy it, go to the Character Warehouse.
Holy
it's like $3.
crap. It's freaking stupid. And you're like, who is making these decisions here, man? Like it's unbelievable.
Do you think they just have people like combing Twitter and using that as the way for them to do things, and that's why everything's going down the drain?
I think I don't think so. I think they have activists that have no idea what Star Wars is. That want to push women, diversity, people of color, blah blah blah. Like that's what they want to push. And that's their main focus. Even Kathleen Kennedy, she made a statement at Star Wars Celebration there's going to be more women-centric directors and filmmakers and stuff. Hey, that's fine. Your company, do what you want. But they totally forgot about the story. The fact that they pushed Life Day, which is the worst thing that ever came out of the George Lucas era, to the point where he wanted that erased from history. It's free to watch on YouTube. It's horribly cringe. And yet they're like, this is a good idea. Let's push that. Shows that they literally have no idea what they know about Star Wars. The fact that Mandalorian was so popular with Baby Yoda, man, that should have been a no-brainer. Freaking get Mandalorian into Galaxy's Edge. Well, we can't do that. We're only showing Rey. Why? You own Star Wars. Put him in a Star Wars land. Now we can't do that. Then finally, someone came to their senses and was like, maybe we should do that. Like, okay. It's so dumb, man. I just don't get it. And now, like, Indiana Jones is not looking well. Like, one of the reviews is Yesterday Belongs to Us. Someone this is from IndieWire. Their top critic says, Yesterday belongs to us. Someone said at one point, and when it comes to Indiana Jones, yesterday always will. The problem is that it already did, and today's feel like a complete waste of time.
Apparently, for Indiana Jones, people were just like so bored that the screening that people were just like whispering in the background.
I do have to stop for 1 second because we got 5 gifted memberships from Brian McCann, and he is a sponsor himself. So again, throw the Zorts in the chat for the new members. And so now I think most of my chat is now members. That's a good. And thank you, Brian, for giving out those gifted memberships. I will say that's going along with what Jay said. Disney learned this lesson once already in the theme parks with Frozen. They were not prepared for how popular Frozen was. They scrambled to get enough Frozen merch made. They scrambled to make a ride change. And they got it at the end of the popularity of Frozen. So they learned the hubris of this. Like, they learned the lesson of that already once during Iger. So I don't understand how they could learn that lesson and have that go to them already once and then not, like, learn from it. Because I remember them. Did we just get more gifted members? Who gifted them this time? 1,000 Ghost Toys just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, man. I'm gonna throw some more Zords in the chat. Thank you for the gifting members. You guys didn't need to do that, but thank you very much. This was an unexpected change in topic to more current Star Wars stuff, but I'm glad that it happened because, one, I do love Star Wars. I think most of us actually do love it. We love what Star Wars was, and in my viewpoint, it's kind of like losing faith, right? You're at the point where something you believed in and something that you put decades for people of their life into is being tarnished and being, like, distorted into something it isn't. And We can only fight by bet. So make your own Star Wars stories. I mean, George Lucas always was okay with people doing fan films. Make your own Star Wars stuff, or be inspired by it and make something new. Do what Dave did and write an awesome book. Like, do something, and that's kind of awesome. So we normally only do an hour, and I want to thank Jay for coming in. What do you have coming up next? Is there anything? The Pirate Channel, I know you do stream on Sunday or something, right? For the Pirate Channel?
Maybe. Something like that. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Since Jay did join, I will make sure all of his links are in the description once the stream's done.
No worries, man. You don't have to do that, brother, but thank you. Subscribe to the Rogue Attraction if you haven't.
Agreed. George Lucas, yes. Make something, have Star Wars inspire you in a way. Make your own Star Wars. And the only thing I can think of is that we have Dune. At least Dune right now looks good. So we have something that is in the feel of Star Wars. So that makes me happy. No Green, you got the Memers stream coming up on Saturday, correct?
Yes, we have the Celtic Nerd podcast guys coming on, which is freaking amazing. And I'm very excited to have them on. We will be doing gaming streams soon. Rogue, I sent you some links if you put that in the description later as well.
Okay.
We're going to be doing it on Kick, Rumble, Odyssey, and I'm still trying to figure everything out. I'm doing my best to get things going with the Legion, so your help would be very much appreciated, everybody. If you can go subscribe to the YouTube. We're a little bit past the halfway point for monetization, so I really appreciate everybody for your support. And we'll see you on the weekend. And sometimes we do Tuesday streams, so turn the notification bell on just so you can know when that happens.
Yes, Zombie Box, I do think it looks good. Again, reach out when you want to do the Doctor Who stuff. I'm just waiting for you to be all ready with your computer set up. I have no problem joining on to talk some classic Who. Love a theme park of Dune and Lord of the Rings. Universal. I'm just gonna say this. That would be kind of awesome. I know Warner Brothers has the rights for Lord of the Rings, technically, but a Dune theme park with like a thumper ride where you're riding one of the sandworms would be kind of cool. Or what are the choppers called again in it? The Thopters, right? They're called Thopters in Dune. That would be so good. All right, I'm gonna say that we're gonna call it here because there is Fortnite with the premium members, I think, tonight. So I'll be heading there in a little bit. Hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thanks for the invite, man. Appreciate it.
I liked talking Star Wars with you. Thank you for coming in. I know you are a very busy person. I do like the new version of the sign back there that you got for the.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that is really cool.
So everyone go to Jay's stream on Saturday. I'm pretty sure everyone will be there at 5. This Saturday for the morning stream, I will be doing Epcot and the Epcot Rare Resorts for a little bit, hanging out. It seems like you guys have been enjoying those a little bit longer streams, so we're going to keep testing them out on the weekends and see how long and stuff like that. So hope everyone has a great rest of your week. Watch FNT, watch everyone's stuff, and I'm going to say, as always, don't be afraid to be the fool because it's more fun that way. Bye.
Have a good day.